Right now on Denver 7 News, with fresh snow covering the metro this morning, our Weather Action Day continues when we can expect a warm-up.
They're just a beautiful, wonderful, peaceful people.
Coloradans with Ukraine ties continue to do everything they can to show the country their support. How you can help. And a little later, high school students making some out-of-this-world cuisine that could be sent to the International Space Station.
Good morning and thanks for watching Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford. We have lots for you today. First, let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo for your Weather Action Day forecast. And Lisa, we're off to a much colder start today than what we saw last week.
Yeah, I know. A distant memory of those 60s and 70s last week. It's going to be a chilly day today, about 50 degrees colder than what we saw toward the middle of last week. Snow continuing to fall. We're getting another round of it here this afternoon, and we're expecting here in town that snow to add up to likely another 1 to 3 inches here through, it looks like, late afternoon, early evening, and then start to taper off by tomorrow. Take a look a little closer in. Coming down now from Denver, north a little bit heavier toward Thornton and Brighton, and we've got a little band there south also, right along C470 as you get closer to Centennial and Highlands Ranch. So more snow today, and again, it's going to put our totals, likely our total two-day totals, at around 2 to 5 inches. A little bit heavier on the west side of town and up and through the mountains. And northern Front Range foothills, we're going to pick up around 6 to 12, even close to 18 inches of snow, locally a little bit heavier up and through those mountains. So as far as temperatures go, right now we are in the 20s. Not much of a warm-up. We're going to stay in the 20s through the afternoon. We'll take a closer look at our hourly futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Well, we got a crew keeping an eye on the roads in the metro as well this morning. Denver 7's Megan Lopez is on C470 in Littleton right now. How are things looking so far?
Hey there, Jessica. Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on the roads all morning, and what we're seeing is a little bit of slowdowns and definitely a little bit of that ice. Lane visibility right now is doing pretty okay, but it really depends on where you are in the metro area. So the further north you go, you're going to see a little bit less of that lane visibility. Let me give you a look outside so you can see for yourself what we're dealing with. This is C470 heading eastbound right now. Now, we are hearing about some crashes from CDOT, so here's a couple that I'm going to tell you about. We're hearing about one on C470 that happened about a half hour ago. Left lane closed near West Bowles Avenue and King Carroll. I didn't see anything when we were driving around that area, but there was one reported about a half hour ago. We're also hearing about some crashes on I-70 eastbound and I-25. 2 lanes closed as of 22 minutes ago near Evans Avenue. So what you're going to want to do is just take it nice and slow. Understand that these roads are going to be a little bit icy, and you know, this is a nice day to just stay inside and maybe drink some cocoa. That's what I wish I was doing. Jessica?
All right, thank you so much, Megan. Well, a third round of talks between Russia and Ukraine are set to start tomorrow. This comes as more than 1.5 million people have fled Ukraine for neighboring countries. President Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Zelensky yesterday. The Biden administration says it's working closely with Congress to secure additional funding to help the country as Russian forces continue to attack. As people continue to evacuate, many others are staying behind to fight.
We know why we are here. We know why we defend our country, and our guys that are actually standing there and fighting Russian military forces, they know what they are doing. Those guys, they don't. We know what we are doing, and that's why we will win.
In the meantime, Russian President Vladimir Putin warning a no-fly zone over Ukraine would constitute a declaration of war. Both Visa and MasterCard suspending operations in the country. The U.S. State Department warning all Americans to leave as soon as they can. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet was on that call with Presidents Biden and Zelensky yesterday morning. Afterwards, Bennet posting on Twitter saying we must continue to provide critical security assistance to bolster the Ukrainian resistance, send humanitarian aid to mitigate the growing refugee crisis, banned Russian oil imports to the U.S., and continue to punish Putin for his lawless war. Coloradans across the state keep showing their support for Ukraine in unexpected ways. In Colorado Springs, people gathered at a park to demonstrate. A Russian man and his daughter were there yelling, "Stop the war." He says he's been in Colorado Springs for about a year, but his daughter was born in Ukraine, and the rest of her relatives are over there. He spoke very little English, but his daughter translated for us.
It's very tough and it's hard to just take in. It's hard to just be calm about it. It's horrible we can't just let this happen.
He says they hardly sleep, constantly trying to communicate with everyone and make sure that their loved ones are still safe. In the meantime, Coloradans with ties to Ukraine have been devastated by the images of their home country being destroyed, and they're doing what they can to help. The nonprofit Ukrainians of Colorado is raising money to send medical supplies and aid to Ukraine. Denver 7's Rob Harris sat down with a Colorado man hoping to make a life-saving difference.
If his native name didn't give away his heritage,
In Ukrainian, it's Andriy Lenech.
the artwork, trinkets, and flags at Andrew Lennox's home certainly would.
I have family in Ukraine. I spent 2 years in the Peace Corps there recently. I still keep in touch with many, many people in Ukraine. When there was an invasion, I was shocked. I mean, that first day I was absolutely numb, you know, and I kind of had to take stock of what my emotions were.
I think all of us watching TV have been so struck by the before and after of these cities in Ukraine. But I got to think for you, you have the before in your head and then are seeing the after on TV. Tell me what that experience has been like.
Devastating. And I will tell you something, that the images that you're seeing on TV are understated. The horror is much greater. From my telephone calls and texts on a daily basis from people from Ukraine, from pictures that they are sharing, it's just beyond belief. It's horrific.
The phone calls from his friends and family in Ukraine have revealed the devastation there. They've also given him insight into what they need now most. Lennox joining the Ukrainians of Colorado, rallying for awareness, and raising money for medical supplies to send.
What we are witnessing is the manifestation of evil, pure evil. And how the world responds to this, that will be the history that will be written. If Ukraine is not helped, if it is not assisted, then our history is diminished. We as a species are diminished.
If you think your friends and family in Ukraine could get one message across to Americans watching right now, what do you think that message would be?
Support us, help us. You know, I mean, in the beginning, it was, they were, and I will tell you this, they're very, very grateful for the moral support. It means a lot to them. It really does, to know that the world is watching and that everybody is coming together. Literally, almost the entire world is supporting Ukraine. Anybody who spends some time there falls in love with the country. They're just a beautiful, wonderful, peaceful people.
Rob Harris, Denver 7.
The organization has a goal of raising $100,000. If you'd like to donate, we have a link on our website, thedenverchannel.com. And a reminder, today is the last day of Dazbog Coffee's fundraiser for Ukraine. 5% of all in-store beverage sales and $3 per bag of Dazbog's Freedom Blend will go to the International Committee of the Red Cross. Dazbog is based in Denver. It was founded by two brothers in 1996 after fleeing the former Soviet Union in the late 70s. A new crime trend is hitting one Metro car dealership. Why owners are feeling helpless in protecting their property. We're back after this.